Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now this is going to be an album ranking of the Moody Blues, and it's the band I actually played the most of last year in 2024. I've always been a huge fan of their 7 classic albums, from Days of Future Past up to Seven Sojourn, and I haven't fully dismissed the rest, but maybe slightly in some cases. The 80s albums I was never that keen on. I always thought there were some decent songs, but I went through the whole catalogue last year about 5 or 6 times and my views have changed. So there's 16 albums in total here, and we'll get started. And I'm going to do this, apart from the first album, I'm going to do this with CDs for a change, because I'm really into CDs at the moment. However, I don't have this one on CD, and it's my number 16, and it's the debut album Magnificent Moodies from 1965, and this didn't chart. Now this has Denny Lane as lead vocals and Clint Warwick on bass. Those two were to leave and be replaced by Justin Hayward and John Lodge, but you still do get Mike Pender, Ray Thomas and Graham Age on this. And this is nothing like the Moody Blues from 67 onwards. It's more your R&B, mid-60s R&B, and I'm not that keen on it. Now I do love the track Go Now, which was a #1 hit single, but the rest of it is okay, slightly bluesy, but really not for me. So this is my number 16. Okay, now the CDs. I'm coming in at number 15, and it's the last album. And this is from 2003, and this is December, and this only has John Lodge, Justin Hayward and Graham Age on it. And this is actually not a bad album. I really do like it. All these albums from now on I like, and it is all based around the festive season, Christmas, etc. Don't Need a Reindeer is an original, which is actually really good. And they do a track In the Quiet of Christmas Morning, which is a Bach piece, She's You Joy of Man's Desiring, which everybody has seemed to have done. Like the Beach Boys did it with Lady Linda, The Move did it with Cherry Blossom Clinic, Ralph McTell did it with Dreams of You, even the Byrds did it with She Don't Care About Time, and I'm certain there's another one as well, but I absolutely love it. And they do a couple of decent cover versions that you would know, like A Winter's Tale, the David Essex song, Make That Song actually, and a half decent version of Happy Christmas War Is Over, which I thought would be terrible. But this is actually not a bad album, and I played this quite a few times over Christmas, and yeah, so it gets my number 15. And at number 14 it is from 1988, and it's Sur L Mer, and this got to number 21 on the charts. And this is soft rock, but it's actually pretty good. Some really good songs, like I Know You're Out There Somewhere. Vintage Wine is extremely catchy. No More Lies is a great track. Deep is not a bad song either, the last song on side 2 of the album, and the last song on the CD. But it is a little bit bland, but it's still not a bad album. I guess my number 14. At number 13, we have from 1983. And a number 15 album called The Present, and a beautiful cover there. This took me a while actually to get into. I was going to have this near rock bottom, but Blue World, great song. Meet Me Halfway is very good. A couple other singles like Sitting at the Wheel I think is quite good, and Under My Feet, which was another single but not the best. Overall it's a decent 80s Moody's album. It has got that 80s sound to it. The songs are decent, they're not overly strong, but still, yeah, not a bad album, and I guess my number 13. At number 12, we have from 1999, and it is Strange Times, and this got to number 92. This is very soft rock, and it's almost yacht rock in places, but English Sunset's really good. Haunted is a beautiful song. Sooner or Later, Walking on Air, absolutely great. It's a very easy album to listen to. It's really enjoyable. There's nothing excessive on it, but it's still a very strong album, and it is probably, there actually is their last album proper if you think about it, because December has a load of cover versions. So Strange Times, my number 12. At number 11, and this is a surprise, and it's On the Threshold of a Dream, number 1 album from 1969. This is the weakest, I think, of those 7 classic albums, although it's still very good. It does have In the Beginning, which is one of those weird openers which I always like, going into Lovely to See You, which is great. Dear Diary's okay, and Send Me Some Wine, or Send Me No Wine, sorry, is like a country type hoedown. Never Comes the Day was a single off this. It did absolutely nothing. And Are You Sitting Comfortably? It's decent, it's a little quirky at times, but as I say, of the big 7, it's my least favourite, and it comes in at number 11 for me. At number 10, and it's the 1991 album, and it's Keys of the Kingdom, and this got to number 54. This again is soft rock, but it does feature one of my favourite John Lodge songs, and that is Lean on Me Tonight, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Say It With Love was the actual single off this, Justin Hayward song, which is great. Say What You Mean is probably the weakest track off this, and although it's from 1991, it sounds very 80s, but there's an absolutely gorgeous ballad called Shadow on the Wall, a really good album, and again a very easy listening. So Keys of the Kingdom gets my number 10. At number 9, we have A Question of Balance from 1970, and this is another number 1 album, and the highlight of this is the title, well, it's not the title track, it's Question, which is absolutely fantastic. Again, some of these songs are a little bit sort of twee for me, but it does have It's Up to You, which is a brilliant track, a minstrel song. The second half of this album I think is better than the first. Things like Dawning of the Day is beautiful. Melancholy Man is the Mike Pinder song, which is great, but with the first side you have And the Tide Rushes In, which is, it's okay, but side 2 is much better than side 1, and that is my number 10, or number 9, sorry, A Question of Balance. At number 8, and this one really surprised me because I didn't think it was that great when I first bought it, and it's Octave from 1978, the number 6 album. The big hit off this, well, I don't think it charted, but it's the most famous song, is Stepping in the Slide Zone, which is pretty good, but Driftwood is an absolutely gorgeous Justin Hayward ballad. They were starting to get a little bit more soft rocky with this album. You have Top Rank Suite, which is really good. It's almost, it's completely different, it's a different sound whatsoever. It's almost like a Fred Astaire type thing, but it's good fun. Under Moonshine, which is a song I absolutely detest. It's a Ray Thomas song. I've grown to love it a lot. And then things like I'm Your Man, which is great. One Step Into the Light, really good album. So Octave gets my number 8. A number 7, and we have from 1981, and a number 7 album, and it's Long Distance Voyager. 3 singles off this: The Voice, Talking Out of Turn, and Gemini Dream, which are all really good. There is a bit of an ELO influence in this, especially with the song Nervous, which sounds as if it could have been lifted off a New World record, but it's a really good track. In My World, a really good ballad, although it does tend to go on a little bit more. The only track I'm not overly keen on is the very last one, Veteran Cosmic Rocker. The Ray Thomas track is okay, but it's just a bit silly. But very, very good album from 1981, and that's Long Distance Voyager. Okay, number 6, and this is the big surprise for me because I think I would have put this last. And it's from 1986, and it is The Other Side of Life. Now, I will say that this contains my favourite Moody Blues song with Your Wildest Dreams. I love it, absolutely love it. But the rest I thought was 80s pop until I played this a few times, and I'm bowled over by it. Talkin', very 80s sound, a little bit like Talk More Talk by Paul McCartney. Absolutely adore it. Rock and Roll Over You, which is almost like a Spinal Tap type thing, but I love it as well. Running Out of Luck has got a bit of a Get It On vibe by T-Rex, although not with bass or guitar, it's more with horns. The title track is good, The Spirit, a great song, beautiful ballad in Maybe a Fire, and Sings of Narrows is great fun. Yeah, really love it. I know, I didn't think I would, but this is the one I've actually played the most last year, so The Other Side of Life is number 6. Okay, at number 5, and we have the 1968 album, and it is In Search of the Lost Chord, and this is the one with Ride My Seesaw on it, and Dr. Livingstone, I presume, Voices in the Sky, and the actor, the word, and the brilliant The Best Way to Travel. Really good album, follow up to Days of Future Past, and this got to number 5 in the charts. So this was their first big charting album, and an absolutely brilliant cover. I will say that the Moody Blues covers were superb, apart from The Other Side of Life and Sur L Mer, but still, number 5, In Search of the Lost Chord. And at number 4, from 1972, number 5 album, and it is Seventh Sojourn. Now the two hits off this, or the two singles anyway, were I'm Just a Singer in a Rock and Roll Band and Isn't Life Strange, and that those two are actually my least favourite songs off this. I love New Horizons, the Justin Hayward song, and For My Lady is an absolutely beautiful Ray Thomas song, but You and Me and The Land of Make Believe on side 2 are awesome, and I really do like the track Love in a Lost World, the Mike Pinder song that opens the album. Really good album, and they took a break after this, and it was 6 years before Octave came out. But yeah, Seventh Sojourn, my number 4. And at number 3 we have Days of Future Past, the 1967 album, which got to number 27 in the charts. You'd think it would have got higher, but it didn't. And this has the London something orchestra on it, which dominates this album, because if you take the orchestra off, you probably think the songs aren't that great, but it does have Nights in White Satin on it and Tuesday Afternoon, but it's just a really good listen. Lots of little quirky bits. Dawning Is a Day, very good song. Peak Hour as well. Really good album, but this is one you just listen to as a whole. Excellent album. That's my number 3. Now number 2 is the 1969 album, and this is To Our Children's Children, and this opens with Higher and Higher, possibly the best opener of any Moody Blues album. Really good. Then it goes into Eyes of a Child, Floating, Eyes of a Child again, which is a really good ballad with Ray Thomas's Floating in the middle. Things like Out and In, absolutely brilliant track, along with Gypsy as well. Candle of Life, absolutely beautiful. Watching and Waiting, really good album, and it gets my number 2. It used to be my number 1, but I have to admit that this is my favourite Moody Blues album, and it's Every Good Boy Deserves Favour. Procession, another brilliant opener, going straight into the story of her eyes. Emily's song, beautiful. After You Came, really good. One More Time to Live, brilliant Justin Hayward song. Nice to Be Here, which is very quirky, but really enjoyable. And You Can Never Go Home, really good track, really good album, and it would be my favourite Moody Blues album, a number 1 album from 1971. So that's the ranking of the Moody Blues. As I say, I played them constantly last year. I'm in the mood for playing them again now after going through that, and I probably will. So that's me for now. All the best now. Bye bye.